I also was terrified of the idea that maybe after bottom surgery, I'm going to feel worse and not better, which is always like a worry that I heard from a lot of like trans people as well. That they think that like, oh, what if they are just faking it and then they start transitioning and then they are going to get unhappier because it doesn't fix their issues or whatnot. But obviously that was not the case for me because I had severe bottom dysphoria. I'm going to talk about bottom surgery in just a second. I think I'm probably going to open paint for this, just make it like a little bit easier. There are like a few things that I wanted to talk about, and I think they're like main aspects. So we can talk about like the recovery. We got daily life. Guess I'm going to do like a very small segment on intimacy. So, okay, when it comes to recovery, so I did have 2 surgeries actually. I had my first surgery in June last year, and I had the second in January this year. The first one was the main surgery. It's the big one. Everything is being done. I did have, penile inversion, PI. That's like the standard, the basic one. Didn't have like the fancy colon one because health insurance covered it for me. If I wanted to have like something else or whatnot, I would have had to go to like a private clinic and I would have had to, pay a lot of money that I didn't have. So there was like the standard thing. They do not do like the colon one unless you do not have like enough tissue, but that is rarely the case. In June, I had like the main big surgery. It was like a 7-hour surgery, actually. It was really painful. I had a lot of like difficulties. I talked about that in my first video when I came back. Did like a long stream answering all the questions. My medication didn't work properly. I had like a thing. There's like an empty space under your spine where they inserted like some substance, and it made my thighs, my legs really numb, but I was still feeling pain. Also, you're getting stretched a lot. You're going to get like moved once like the painkillers like stopped kicking in. I started to feel my legs a little bit more. It was so painful. After the first week, when I was able to shower, when every thing was slowly being removed, except for the catheter, obviously, things got better. Second surgery was like a cosmetic thing. It was just doing like some major flaws. Usually they just do it in one go. I was out like after 3 days or something. Like it wasn't too big of a deal. It was still like a little bit painful, and it took a while. It took a while to get used to everything. Obviously, dilating is like really frustrating. You have like different steps, different stages, and you like slowly increase like the size of it, and anytime you reach a new depth and you stretch the tissue, it hurts for like the first couple of days, which is really unpleasant. Now it's fine. I think depth is like something that I mentioned a while ago. That's like the only thing where I'm like kind of struggling. It's also like, with penile inversion, it's not as stretchy. There's not any give. It's kind of firm, and the fact that I have to dilate like 2 or 3 times a week is still kind of annoying. But if you're active and whatnot, you don't have to like worry about that too much. That is pretty much it. When it comes to like my daily life, obviously I still gotta dilate and whatnot, but like the biggest impact, the biggest change actually is that I do not have like this constant sensation that like something is wrong in that area, that there's like something that is just like out of place. Just maintaining hurt or just increasing depth? Just increasing depth. Obviously, I was lucky enough that nothing went wrong majorly when it came to my surgery. It was just like the pain afterwards where something went wrong. But like recovery was fine and the surgery was fine. So I was kind of lucky. I was fortunate enough to not have any complications. But yeah, when it comes to my daily life, when it comes to my daily experience and so on, obviously I do not have like the sensation that something is out of place, that something is like disturbing and weird.
If you don't shut up, I'm going to put an umbrella down your urethra and then open it.
50? 50? Holy shit. Presto, thank you so much. Obviously, I do not have like this I don't have like phantom limb, right? It's more, when you're trans, it's more like the other way, right? If you have like a body part that isn't supposed to be there, it just doesn't really make sense in your brain. And now that it's gone, now it feels right and I can focus on other things. Obviously, I still have like dysphoria in other areas. It just resolved like a core issue. Like even when I was like in the hospital struggling and whatnot, I still sounded like relieved and happier. It gave me a lot of like hope for the future. It gave me a lot of like motivation and energy and whatnot. Now in my daily life, I'm still a little bit, I'm still processing things. I'm still a little bit surprised that this works, like that is like, that feels like a medical miracle that even works. But yeah, like I have no issues when it comes to like showering, when it comes to like relationships, right? I do not have to feel like insecure about, I don't know, being close with someone, cuddling, and them accidentally being in the area of the wrong anatomy that I have, right? I do not have like this fear anymore. I do not have to worry about like when I'm wearing, I don't know, leggings or whatnot, about like a bulge being noticed or whatnot, having the idea that maybe like someone is staring in this area or whatnot. So that is like a big problem that was like solved through that. Even though that is like, oh, it's not perfect. It's not a quote unquote real vagina. You don't have a womb or whatnot. Like even though it's not perfect, it is still really beneficial for my daily life. It helps me a lot. It is a lot better than constantly having to deal with like a tumor that is like causing you so much harm constantly, that is constantly dragging you down, like walking around constantly with like an anchor dragging you down, and then you're supposed to perform as well as those without the anchor. It just doesn't work. So I'm glad that this is gone for me now. When it comes to intimacy, obviously, like I said, when it comes to like cuddling and whatnot, that is something that I don't have to worry about. I don't know if I'm asexual. For me, it's still like really new because I never experienced that. I never experienced any intimacy and whatnot before because of like the bottom dysphoria and so on. But now it's like, yeah, okay, so the depth is making it tricky. That is like something that's like a little bit annoying. That's a little bit frustrating. The lack of lubrication, that can be like an issue. Unless you don't want to answer it, I'm gonna ask one last time. Are you happy with your bottom parts aesthetic? I am. Oh yeah. I actually was worried about like the aesthetics of it. I was like in the same state of mind of like, well, I'm incredibly unhappy right now. I can't function. I can't do anything. I'm struggling so much. I'm restricting myself so much. I'm constantly isolating myself. I have to give this a shot. I have to do this. Are you scared at all? Oh yeah, I mean, obviously I was scared of like complications, of things going wrong. I also was terrified of the idea that maybe after bottom surgery, I'm going to feel worse and not better, which is always like a worry that I heard from a lot of like trans people as well, that they think that like, oh, what if they are just faking it and then they start transitioning and then they are going to get unhappier because it doesn't fix their issues or whatnot. But obviously that was not the case for me because I had severe bottom dysphoria. And I went through the long and difficult process to even get approved for bottom surgery in order to fix that. I feel like the biggest part literally is going to be like, does this improve your daily life? If this is just something for like intimacy, I would hope that you're going to like think really hard about it, because the majority of like the impact is going to be your daily life. Because if it's for intimacy and something goes wrong and it negatively impacts your daily life as well, then you might have like some severe regret when it comes to like your clothes and whatnot, and then something goes wrong and you struggle with like walking or whatnot, you have like some pain. There are still a lot of people who are like, it still got rid of the dysphoria, so it still helped my mental health. If it's just for intimacy, I would be incredibly careful because of the limitations of bottom surgery, especially when it comes to like penile inversion. Because if you want to just have like sexual intercourse as someone who has a vagina, I think you might be incredibly disappointed. If that is like the only reason you would want it, chances are you might be disappointed afterwards. If you go for the colon one, obviously it's a bigger thing. It is going to take longer to recover because like your digestive system is going to get cut up. You also probably have to pay more money. Probably also going to be more difficult to like find someone in your in your area who does the bottom surgery using the colon. I can't say enough about like how that is going to like feel afterwards. You gotta like talk to people who have like experience with that. I just would be like incredibly careful if it was just for intimacy. Obviously, you gotta have like your own reasons. I feel like the biggest difference that it made for me personally was in my daily life. That's how I feel. That's how I personally feel. I obviously can't tell if that is something that you should go for. You also do not need to have bottom surgery just to be valid as a trans woman. I do not believe that transmedicalism is a good idea. The idea that you have to like medically transition from male to female in order to be a woman. I think that's stupid. That is just moving the goalpost because, you know, then you have bottom surgery and then it's like, yeah, but you still don't have a womb. But yeah, it was my journey. My bottom surgery journey. I'm still getting used to everything. It takes a long time to get used to everything. Can you talk a little bit longer about recovery? You still have to dilate regularly, right? 1 year in. When it comes to like dilating, you're going to get like a lot of different, you're going to get a lot of like mixed signals. A lot of people are going to tell you a lot of different things about the frequency and like how long and whatnot. I would probably listen to your surgeon. Something that I'm also struggling with. Now I have to go to a gynecologist and I'm kind of terrified to do that. I'm kind of scared to go to a gynecologist because I still don't feel valid enough. And I'm like scared of like dealing with transphobia or whatnot. But I have to find one. Let me do like a small little recap about like the recovery. At the start, you have to dilate. It was twice a day, and then later on, it went to once a day. You get like a lot of different people telling you different. They're going to tell you a lot of different things. It also like depends on like the interval. So like, oh, you should do like 15 minutes each day, or like 30 minutes each day. So you could either do like a one really long session or multiple smaller ones. I don't know if this is like the perfect strategy, if that is like the meta. Every 2 weeks, I increased like the dilator size. After a while, I think after like 3 months or something, that is kind of like the time where you should be able to have like, you know, intercourse that is like healed enough. It was still really it was kind of a struggle because I didn't have like the cosmetic surgery afterwards, so there was a lot of like stuff not perfect. Also, you still have like kind of like a burning sensation. It feels really weird when you get stretched. And then you can like slow down. I still had it like like once a day for like 10 minutes. Obviously, it also like depends on like how frequently you do anything like sexual. Then after 6 months, I had like my I had the cosmetic surgery, and then I wasn't allowed to, you know, dilate for 1 week. And I feel like I might have lost some depth because I didn't dilate, or like even for like 2 weeks. I think I wasn't allowed to dilate for 2 weeks, and I felt like I might have lost some depth because of it. Now until like a 1 year, I'm at the point right now where I do it like once every 2 to 3 days. I do like 10 to 20 minutes. Can you dilate while sleeping? No. I wouldn't recommend doing that. It's also not really pleasant. It's not like a good sensation. This is not fun. It's a medical procedure that you need to do. Like, you shouldn't leave it in because also like the lubricant is like drying up. Also, when it comes to like your dilators, I always recommend like some plastic ones because they're like the only ones that are covered by health insurance. Do not go for plastic. Do not go for anything stiff. Like, I had the karambit dilator for a really long time. Like, the karambit, they're looking like this, right? And they're getting smaller and bigger. They are silicone, so they are like flexible. I had that for a really long time, and that helped me a lot. That made it a lot easier to dilate. And now I have like ones that look like this. but they are silicone, not plastic. I would not recommend plastic ones. Gotta get something flexible. The fact that doctors recommend you like plastic ones and they are the only ones that are covered by health insurance and they are like the most unpleasant and you know, actually like kind of painful and weird. That is just, you know, showcasing the misogyny when it comes to like the medical field. How like female healthcare is just, it will be fine.